Okay, we have just a quick practice set of problems here. If you would please, I want you to write a program that prints every even number from 2 to 200 to the console. Pause the video, give it a try. Okay, so here's my answer. I used a for loop, and I start at 2, and this is the number you go up to when you stop. So it'll stop and won't print when it reaches 201. That way I make sure that it prints 200, and it goes up by 2. That's the amount that it goes up by. Okay, next. Be sure you run each one of these programs. All right, I want you to create a variable and set it to 17, create another variable and set it to 24, and I want you to print out the sum, the product, and the quotient of the two numbers. So pause the video and give that a try. Okay, we could use the name variable1, right? Or maybe even var1 and var2, that doesn't matter. But var1, I've set to 17, var2 to 24, and you can use any name that you want here. And I'm just simply performing the actions, and we're going to get the same answers regardless. We're going to get 41, 408, and those. Even if I change the values, the variables to be, banana and apple, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but I should get the same answers because those are the same numbers, they just have different names associated with them. And remember, when you make a variable, the variable name is on the left, and the value you want to give it is on the right, because we assign from right into the left. Okay, for the next program, I want you to input from the user two numbers and print the average of the two numbers. Showing the answer already. All right, pause the video and try it. All right, I've went ahead and opened up my variables view menu by going to view variables. And I want you to see what happens because I'm actually going to do this wrong. And it's going to make a mistake. And I want you to see it. So I'm computing the average by adding the two numbers and dividing by 2. And I'll run the program. And I'll type in 24 and 87. And you'll notice it gives me a big red error. It says unsupported operand types for divide. An operand type is a type that an operand is what you perform the operator on. So the operator here is the division symbol. We also have an add operator. The operand is what I'm using it for. So for example, if I had 8 divided by 7, 8 and 7 are the operands, divide is the operator. And it's saying it's an unsupported type because it's saying string. Well, you'll notice here in my variables, these numbers are actually strings. So it could add num1 and num2 because it'll just be 2, 4, 8, 7. It'll add them as strings and just line them up next to each other. But then I try and divide a string by an int, and that's what it says down here, string by int, the t's down here. Well, it can't do that. And that we need to get these quotes off of here. And the way we do that is by using the int command. So I put inside a function, I put inside the int function this input. So it'll take it in, and then this will convert it to an int. We'll see what happens. So 24 and 87, and it worked fine, gave me an average. And you'll notice that it gives me the two numbers in my variable list, but they don't have the quotes on them. So that's really important to do when you're running a program. All right, last one. I want you to import 4 numbers, and I want you to print out the slope. The slope of the line that would go through those 2 points, x1, y1, x2, y2. The formula, in case you need it, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and we use m for slope. So go ahead and write that program. All right, so hopefully you remember to use int, and I'm just going to use some cool prompts here. I thought about several different ones. I thought about that one as a kind of one you can use, but I like the arrow. And then I'll use y1, and I'm going to input like that. And then I've inputted the x's, x2 and y2. And I'm going to go ahead and calculate the slope individually on one line before I print it. You could also print and calculate at the same time. But I'm going to do that. And then I'll print the slope. And let's run the program. So I'm just going to enter 9 and then 11. And then I'm going to increase the x's by 5 and the y's by 2. See what happens. 4. And increase the x's by 5 and the y's by 2. Should give me a slope of, let's see here. I got 0.4 because that's 2 divided by 5. And you could see, and that is 2/5 is 4/10. So the slope is correct, and there's all my values. And we can run this program again, and we can use it. We could say 3, 4, and I'll increase the x's by 1 and the y's by 2. Give me a slope of 2. So that'd be a pretty useful program, right? All right, so that's just a review of inputting, changing the int, and doing math and making variables.